Today we're going to talk about ragtime. Ragtime is a very interesting musical genre. It originated in the southern states of the United States like Louisiana and New Orleans. As you know, New Orleans jazz is very distinctive and quite impressive, and this lively and distinctive ragtime musical form is the forerunner of jazz. The composer Scott Joplin is widely known as the father of ragtime. He was extremely influential. He wrote many famous pieces. The Entertainer is one of his most well-known works. I used to play it quite often. Syncopation. This too. The left hand rhythm needs to be played with a solid feel. Play it with a bounce. We can make it feel a bit more lively now. Ragtime, how should I put it? It's a bit easier to play than jazz. In my opinion, jazz is indeed quite difficult, especially for classical pianists. Jazz requires a lot of dedicated study. Ragtime is much easier. Once you understand the syncopated notes, you've pretty much got it. It even has some classical, academic elements. Right, but how much? One thing must be very, very firm. Right, I think if you play around with this skill, the whole piece will fall apart. I'm telling you. You're so good. You're fine. You can change your middle notes a little bit. So this is also very fun, like Billy Joel, who also plays rag. He's great playing this blazer rag, and then he wrote a root beer rag called this beer, non-alcoholic beer. Yeah, this rag for non-alcoholic beer is right. And the really fun part about all of this is that they actually just play ragtime music, right? Anyway, that's what they do. A lot of people always do it in C major. C major, right? especially like this one. It seems to start in C major, right? But this one isn't. Right. Anyway, for this piece, I personally think you can practice it for fun, just like what he wrote. It's for entertainment, called The Entertainer, right? He's an entertainer. So for this kind of piece, anyway, you don't have to be too serious, except for the left-hand rhythm, which you should take seriously, just this kind of attitude. A more playful attitude. And then you'd better know how to play this kind of piece, especially abroad, whether in Europe or America, like at a train station or an airport, if you want to make people feel you're great, and you start playing Chopin or Mozart. Generally speaking, it doesn't really show how great you are. But if you go up and play... Wow! Do you know why you have so many fans? This feeling is really, really fun. When I was in high school in the US, well, high school wasn't the Curtis Institute. These were just normal kids who didn't listen to classical music. So I said, hey, let me play some Mozart or Beethoven for you. And after 2 minutes, they were going crazy, saying, what kind of music is this? Because they listen to strong rhythms all day long. You know, they'll talk to you about Jay-Z or something like that. Back when I was at Curtis, Jay-Z was really, really popular. And wow, yeah. And then I said, well, he said, why don't you play some ragtime? Ragtime. Later, I found that this stuff works pretty well, so I played a few pieces there. I was like, wow, it resonated with them immediately. Those kids were all like, oh, you are so cool. Awesome, man. They were hooked right away. So I'm saying sometimes you've got to have a few pieces like this. These kinds of pieces are actually quite useful. They often come in handy, especially at a party in the evening. Once you play it, the whole room gets the vibe. Yeah. So you should still practice some ragtime.